There goes the whistle. It's back to the drawing board for Bengaluru after seemingly turn a corner. They have been undone by a very, very determined Sergio the Bearer side tonight. Plays it across! And have they snatched the point when it seemed they would leave empty-handed? And Hyderabad rescued a point, their first of the new season.
Oh wow, they've turned it around! Manolo Marquez does his magic once again! Goa coming from behind and snatching the victory. Mohun Bagan on top, Goa second. East Bengal have a chance to be in that top half of the table. The day Kerala Blasters have been waiting for is finally here. The return of Ivan Vukomanovic after his 10-game suspension. Luna! Adrian Luna! In God mode! In God's own country! At full time, it is Kerala Blasters 2, Odisha 1. Kochi is happy.
Two games coming up with big meanings. Hyderabad looking for their first win of the season. Bengaluru know that 3 points will shuffle them up the table. And bizarrely, if Hyderabad were to win, they would go above Bengaluru in the table. We're at the Balayogi Stadium initially for Hyderabad versus BFC. Then a little later on, we're heading over to the Salt Lake. East Bengal last played on the 21st of October. That 2-1 loss against Goa. Going up against Ivan Vukomanovic's Kerala Blasters. That one promises to be an absolute belter and a cracker. It's a Super Saturday that sees Kerala Blasters, if they were to win later, would go to the pinnacle of the points table and leapfrog Mohun Bagan at the top if they were to take all 3 points. The other teams that are in action today are at the bottom. Hyderabad, as you can see, rooted there, but victory would see them go above BFC. BFC know 3 points are big if they want to push to get into the top half of the table, and East Bengal won't do exactly the same. Sidhu Matthews is with me today. Sidhu, great to have you. It is a Super Saturday.
Absolutely, a Super Saturday with Paul Macefield. What more could I ask for? Now, this is the match that happened, the last one that East Bengal played against FC Goa. Well, East Bengal have scored the first, both in BFC and against Goa, but they've conceded way towards the end. What is it that's going on in the camp?
It's a mentality thing, I think. A lapse of concentration allowed Sandis Jingan to ghost in and get his first ever ISL goal. But you've got to be focused for the full 90 minutes, and it seemed as though they just lapsed in concentration, not once but twice. And if you do give little bits of time and space to certain players in this league, they will punish it, and that's exactly what happened, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I think they play once again at home, and this is actually their home. The last match wasn't, but they're also welcoming Ivan's men in yellow. How difficult is going to be that? It's
going to be huge. The Ivan factor is in big force at the moment. There's a man who has absolutely hit the ground running, Mahesh Singh, so far this season. He needs to be up to task today, out wide, delivering those balls in. But even Vukomanovic, and well, the welcome he got back in that last game was absolutely amazing.
Now that's East Bengal's results so far. Well, definitely that's not what we expected from Carles Red and Gold.
It's a mixed bag, but they're in all the games, aren't they? There's only the odd goal here and there. That's the issue. So it's just those lapses in concentration and those little errors that are costing them.
Well, this match is the second game tonight, so we don't have the fixtures yet, but we have one of the legend players who's on the Bangla show, is Alvito's East Bengal 11. What do you have to say?
Oh, it's the first I've seen of this. Yeah, but he's not too far wrong. I maybe would leave Severio out, but that would be about it. I'd have Cabra in there, I'd have Sal. Yeah, it's not too bad. I like what Alvito's done there. Spoke to him yesterday at breakfast over this game coming up, and he does fancy their chances to try and get all 3 points today against the Blasters.
Do you think also the East Bengal side is too heavily dependent on the likes of Clayton, Mahesh, while players like Cabra and Nishu haven't really given too much to the team?
I think Cabra works his socks off every game. You know what you're going to get from him. I think it's Nanda that needs to step up a little bit more if you were to look at those players. And I think that that's been the issue for them. So they need the bigger players to step up.
Cabra is also playing against his former side. It will be interesting to see that as well. Now, when we speak about the goals, we have to talk about Clayton Silva.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad finish, this one, was it? I mean, right in the top corner. Who's going to score first? Adrian Luna's got the vote with 82% as opposed to Clayton Silver's 18. It depends. It really depends on how they defend, but this was a little bit of magic, wasn't it, from the little wizard. That goal he scored in the last game, just that little dink over. I think we might see East Bengal fight a little bit harder today and be a little bit more resolute to break down, but that Ivan Vukomanovic factor is absolutely massive for the team.
Are you one of those 82% who voted for Luna?
No. I said 0-0 draw. No.
Stop being boring, Macefield. Here's we have Joe Paulser's KBFC 11.
Not going to argue with JP. He'll knock me out. But he's not too far wrong with that either. That's got a good balance, and that's what's available to them at the moment. Obviously, they've got a lot of injuries as well, and there are a few players with a few issues, but I think Bibin has stepped up and done extremely well. Daisuke has hit the ground running as well. But Adrian Luna, you just give him the freedom of the city, won't you? I mean, if he could push them onto the top of the table today, he'd be able to move.
How impressed are you with Pepra?
I think we need to see a little bit more from him. I really do. Diamantakos, you know what you're going to get from him, but Pepra, I think he just needs to start scoring goals. If he starts scoring goals, I think that he could become a folk hero.
Well, we know of a name called Sachin, and that's very familiar and common name in world sports, especially in Indian. If you're a follower of Indian cricket, but Sachin Suresh, you know what the bit story about Sachin Suresh is that his father named him Sachin, saying that you have to make a name in football. We have a Sachin in cricket. It's time to hear you in football.
I didn't know that. That's one of those little stats and facts that has just knocked me sideways a little bit, but I got to turn around and say, why are you called Siju?
Well, my parents probably thought I should be the first Siju doing what I do. And, well, Sachin Suresh has been the key man for them, right?
He has. He's played ever so well. And that penalty save against Odisha was absolutely fantastic as well. So, big shoes to fill there when you're the goalkeeper for the Blasters. And he's stepped up to the mark this season. And long may it continue.
Can he keep the likes of Clayton at bay tonight?
But it's not just down to him, is it? It's going to be down to his back line as well, because you do know that they will push forwards. They've only got 116 penalty area entries, but they played a game less. So, East Bengal will be pushing to try and get themselves in there and try and hit the back of the net as well.
Looking at these numbers, we're not surprised at Ivan's KBFC, but how do you see Carles's red and gold?
Well, they've had more crosses and they've played less games, so that tells you exactly what they're doing and how they're trying to get their goals. They're trying to get the ball into wide areas, they're trying to deliver it into the box, and they're trying to get people on the end of it. I think the total shots there for the Blasters means that they're taking those little longer range pot shots as well, which is why their numbers are higher there than East Bengal.
Well, East Bengal are going to welcome Kerala Blasters tonight. Ivan's team travelling, and they don't have a very good record in away fixtures. Can they do that? Because if they do, like you said, they go on top of the points table.
That's the big incentive for them. But that is the second game over at the Salt Lake. First, we are going to be in Hyderabad for Hyderabad against BFC. And this one as well, I mean, you wouldn't say bottom dwellers, but both sides are down there struggling. So this could really, really kickstart their season and could really, really determine where their season is going to go.
Right, Hyderabad at the 12th and BFC are at the 10th point. Now we know that Simon Grayson has turned this team around. What do you see? Do you see that happen this time as well?
Well, they've got the same number of points as they did last season at exactly the same stage. So you can't write a Simon Grayson team off. That's the big thing. The big question is can they get the goals when they go forwards? Because Hyderabad have decided to turn around and change their formation. They've gone with 3 at the back. So Nimdor G comes in. There's 4 changes in total that's been made by Tongboy. Alanis will go on the left-hand side with Sana on the right. Penanan and Knowles have been left out, so it is going to be Moya and it is going to be Felipe that do come in to try and give them that attacking prowess as well. And Mark Zoll will be out in that wide area, and we know what the rest of the players are all about.
Well, the surprise is that Joe Knowles is on the bench, but here's where we speak to the Hyderabad FC camp, Thangboy and Aaron De Silva.
Hi Tangboy, always good to see you. You've kept possession reasonably well so far in the games, but have lacked that quality in the final third. How have you addressed this in training?
Mace, the only thing we can do is just train and train and train, and that's what we have done. And, like you said, I think in 4 matches we've scored 2 goals. But what we did in Mumbai, okay, you can say a little bit of luck, but you create luck. You create luck by working hard. You create luck by, really fighting for every ball, every space in the field. So the players have done that. And yes, I think today is a new day again for us. Very, very happy as a team to be coming back to Hyderabad, and hopefully today is a good day for us.
You've just mentioned you've only scored the 2 goals. Will there be some luck coming from the bench that we saw in the last game? Jonathan Moya, will he start today?
Well, that's, I think I think Moya will be playing a big role today. I think he also wants to prove, and initially he was, not at the best of fitness, but now I think he's ready. And today we should see him more at full flow.
Hi, Aaron. How's your confidence going into the games? Because you're actually starting a lot more this season than we've seen in the past up front for Hyderabad.
Obviously, it's been good. I'm getting a lot of trust from the staff, from the coaches, and also, I'm looking forward to, scoring my first goal this season because, being a striker, that's what is missing for now. But I'm sure going forward, I'll get the goals as well for the team, so that we are a scoring team because we have lost a few matches now, and it's not a big margin. But I'm sure that we can turn things around on that.
It is all about fine margins, but what have you personally been working on in training to improve your game?
Yeah, as I said, the goals have to come. So personally, after the trainings, we do a lot of finishing. We do a lot of crossing in for the wingers, so that we are on the same path to score. And also, to gain some confidence coming in the games. So that's what is the most important thing going on now in the trainings.
It is very early in the season, but can the team turn this form around quickly?
For sure, we can turn things around with the team that we have. The Indian players, the new foreigners have come in. It's the first season for many of them in the ISL. And as you said, it's quite early in the season. So for sure, as games go by, I'm sure that we'll turn things around in the coming matches.
Aaron, thanks for your time. All the best tonight, and I hope you get that goal soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Now, you heard our 2 facts for no reason at all. Me and Thangboy are wearing the same watch, and I know Aaron De Silva's dad. But here are his numbers. Are you impressed with that?
They need to be a little bit stronger, if I'm being completely honest, because this season he's only had 4 shots and only 1 on target. I remember he scored that goal, and we interviewed him after he'd scored last season. He's a fantastic young man. I do like him. He needs to do a little bit more work rate up on that front line, just chasing in behind him, just working those channels. But for me, he's definitely a talent and a prospect, and someone that will look good going forwards.
It's good to see the coaches continue to trust young players, right? And I think that's what he's delivering as well on the pitch.
Well, let's say young strikers. How many Indian strikers lead the line for their teams in the ISL? Sunil Chetri, 1. Anybody else? I can't think completely quickly off the top of my head. North East started as well. Have started with 1, but they don't give the Indian boys that opportunity because it's usually foreigners that come in.
Now, well, you weren't too happy when you saw the formation and the team start for Hyderabad FC because a key man, Joe Knowles, is on the bench.
I think he's one of the best players so far this season. I think that he's caused all sorts of problems when he's played. You can see the number of shots he's had. You can see how many minutes he's played as well. So it's a bit of a surprise and a shock to see him missing, but not only him, Pennanen as well. The 2 of them, I thought, were the driving force for Hyderabad going forwards, but they've gone with Felipe and Moya tonight.
Well, let's see what Nestor and his co has up their sleeve to see in the second half, or probably. And this is the man that everyone's going to look forward to. I'm sure the fans in Hyderabad are also looking forward to watch him. That's the poll over there. Who will score first, Joe Knowles or Sunil Chetri? Well, Sunil Chetri, the fact that he's starting.
Well, never mind that. Knowles isn't, so it's 100% really, isn't it? It's got to be Sunil Chetri. But you never know, do you? That's the beauty of football. But when it comes to the big occasions and big games, and this is a big game for BFC, it really, really is. They need to turn their season around very, very quickly. and this could define their season and how they're going to go about their business for the rest of the year. So you need people like Sunil on the pitch to be able to give you that impetus to go forwards.
You know, Simon's Blue Army, the West Coast Brigade, have been saying that we don't look at the points table now, we'll start looking at BFC from January onwards. That's the mentality the fans have.
You might as well, because that's when they started their run last year, wasn't it? It was in December when they, just after Christmas, if I remember correctly, when all of a sudden, bang, it exploded and they were just unbelievable. That run to the end of the season was nothing short of a miracle. And Simon Grayson knows how to get the best out of his players, but they are just taking that little bit too long to set.
Happy with the 4-3-3 formation there, Mace?
Yes and no. It's not a million miles away. I think that's the thing. I'd like to see Main get an opportunity up front, but he doesn't. There's only the solitary change that has been made, and it's Jessel Canaro that comes into that left-back role. Obviously, Roshan getting his second red card of the season. But with Williams, who didn't look great in that first game, but since then really has adapted to the weather, the conditions and everything, and has been a real big bright light for BFC. I'm looking forward to seeing him and Halid Charan in those wide areas again with their work rate. They're incredibly industrious. And Sunil, you never know what's going to happen. It could come to him, put it in the back of the net.
We all want to know what Simon says, and here where Mace spoke to him, Simon and Suresh.
Hi Simon, it was a difficult game last time out, but what positives did you take out of that game?
Look, there was plenty of positives. For the first 30 minutes, we played really, really well and got the 2 goals and really limited to Odisha to very few opportunities, apart from a fantastic strike from Putia, which I'm not sure how many goals he'll score like that. And then we made a couple of poor mistakes. The sending off didn't obviously help. But how we finished the game as well, with the last 15 minutes with 10 men, we showed the spirit and it looked like we were going to get an equaliser. So there's plenty of positives, plenty of good things happening. We've just got to make sure that we don't give the opposition too many opportunities, which we've done probably over the last few weeks.
Do you think you need to pose more of a threat going the other way as well when you go into that final third?
Well, I think every team wants to try and do that. But on whatever day it was, Tuesday night, I thought we played really well. We had forward runners, midfield players. We kept possession well of the ball. So, yeah, lots of positives in that aspect of it all. It's getting the balance right, that you make sure you defend well, like every coach will tell you, but also making sure that at the top end of the pitch you ask a lot more questions than maybe teams have done previously.
You've lost each of your last 3 games on the road, but in the same positions points-wise as you were last year. How important is it to win today for the team's confidence with the international break just around the corner?
Yeah, look, of course it is. We want to correct the result the other night, because the performance was good but not the result, and we know what we need to do. We come here in good spirits, and we've obviously got to put on a performance, and it is always nice to finish that international break coming up with a win. But we know it's a tough game, but we're ready for it. We've recharged the batteries quickly from the game the other night, and looking forward to it.
Thanks for your time, Simon. All the best today.
Cheers.
Hi, Suresh. How disappointed were you to get suspended in that game against Mohun Bagan earlier in the season?
I think no player wants to go out of the pitch, and it's really disappointed because, to be honest, because of my sorry to say stupid decision, the team suffer. So at the same time, I think I should also learn from those things, but I think I will not repeat in the next time.
Well, your coach has that confidence in you. And does it give you confidence that the very next game after your suspension, he put you straight back into the starting 11?
Yeah, I think first, thanks to my coach and the coaching staff, but also at the same time, I think I deserve to be in the 11 because I was working so hard in the training and I was showing like what I'm capable of. I think that can be the reason why I start the game.
So how is the mood in the camp this week after that disappointing result against Odisha?
No, like everyone look positive. To be honest, it's difficult to digest because we were leading 2-0 and we lost 3-2. At the same time, even the red card, I have to say that can be a reason. But I think we played well, and also the players should understand that it's 90 minutes, so we should know how to manage the game more, and we don't want to repeat the mistake again.
Well, hope you don't tonight. All the best for the game.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's another interesting fact, Mace, that Bengal FC have more red cards than Hyderabad FC's points and goals combined.
Ooh, You said that, not me. To everybody out there, I did not say that.
Of course, you have your friends to keep happy, but I don't. That's what people think. But Suresh Wangjam, a key player for BFC tonight?
He plays like he answers his questions straight from the heart. There was no nonsense there. And what I loved was that mentality where he actually turned around and went, no, I'd like to thank the staff, but no, I've done this myself because I'm here in training. My performances, the way that I work on the training pitch, I deserve to be in the starting 11. And when you've got that confidence and you've got that aura around you, it really can bring qualities out in other players. You know what you're going to get from him. He wears his heart on his sleeve and he plays that way as well.
We usually don't see BFC kind of when they take a lead, they're confident and concede all of those, right? To come from a game that happened against Odisha, to come into this, do you think they're confident?
It's going to be a tough one because it was a bit of a sucker punch and a killer blow to them, particularly when you go 2-0 up in a game. I'm trying to think of the last time when BFC, had 2 goals taken back from them like that. It's not the greatest start to the season, but it's exactly where they were last year, 4 points after the 5 games. So it's not all doom and gloom. And as you said earlier, the fans are turning around and saying we will look at the league table a little bit later on, come January, when it can really turn things around. But you've got to do your talking on the pitch, and so far they haven't. But that, for me, was the key element. I spoke to Simon off air. He said that goal, an absolute worldie from Putia, he said that was the one key element in the game. And that's when sometimes the football gods are on the side of Odisha that day, and they were. And just by the way, they were 2 yellow cards, and it was a red card. There was no question about that.
Yeah, Roshan got the second yellow and a red from the same referee. But look at that scrappiness. What went wrong in the BFC defence?
No one took responsibility. And when you turn around and you've got Vendor, you've got Jovanovic, you've got Damjanovic, you've got 3 foreign players there, and no one deals with the ball. That will have disappointed Simon Grayson. But he's gone with them again today, so there is a belief there, and it's giving the opportunity and the chance for those players to rectify their errors and their mistakes.
Well, Hyderabad being a team we haven't seen goals from them, they've only scored 2. Do you think BFC can capitalize on this game?
Well, here's one for you. They've only scored 1 because the other was an own goal in the 6th minute against Mumbai, a deflection off Terry. This could go either way. It really couldn't. I think we will get goals today. I'm looking forward to seeing Jonathan Moyer get a start. That's going to be a key thing for me. We know that Felipe will be in those wide areas as well and will look to try and cause all sorts of problems. And we know BFC can be defensively solid as well. So it should be an intriguing game.
Well, for those who are not in the stadium, like us, this is where you can watch all the action live on these channels and enjoy the game with probably a popcorn. Final thoughts, you have 2 games, the Super Saturday.
It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful Super Saturday. It really, really is. This one's going to be more of a chess match because both sides will not want to lose. But if BFC can start the way they did the other day against Odisha, I can see that one going only one way. A little bit later on, East Bengal against the Blasters. This is a real tight one to call. Ivan Vukomanovic coming back in. East Bengal losing last time out will want to rectify and put that right. That one could be an absolute belter as well. I just hope that the East Bengal fans are coming out in their droves to be able to get behind their team. If they do, they can make it seem a little bit foreign then for the Kerala Blasters. But you never know what's going to happen. When you've got Adrian Luna on the pitch, anything can happen.
Well, it is an interesting and a Super Saturday in Indian Super League. We are all set, and so are the teams. It's the Saturday that promises to be a cracker, just looking like a wow. Can the teams perform? Let's find out as the coming up action, the first one from the Maidan.